जाने समझे ज्ञान वास्तु शास्त्र का। पृथ्वी अग्नि जल वायु स्थान कहाँ आकाश का।
ओम वास्तु पुरुषाय नमो नमः।
खुद ही समझो खुद ही जानो, कहता है क्या भला।
Hello friends, welcome to our fresh episode of Home and Properties with me Pia. Friends, as you all know, yesterday we were discussing about the ancient science of home building. Yesterday we briefed you about the science of home building, where we talked about the properties and characteristics of your own house. So today we would be talking about the space section, which we left out yesterday. And to give us detailed information or to educate us about the same topic, let us again invite Mr. Gyani, who's present in our studio. Mr. Gyani, welcome to our show once again.
Thank you. Hello.
Mr. Gyani, yesterday we missed out space over here, so I would like you to educate our viewers today about space.
Yeah, friends, yesterday we discussed the properties and characteristics of directions and subdirections of your house. We discussed about north, east, south and west, and we discussed about northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. I've explained to you, I've briefed to you the characteristics and properties of these corners and the directions. The center part of this of the house is supposed to be is known as space, because the northeast is water, southeast is fire, southwest is earth, northwest is air, and the central part of the house is supposed to be space. As you all know that this ancient science of home building is based on 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and space. Yesterday we left out space. Let me tell you, friends, that the central part of the house, technically, by the orthodox rule and fundamentally, the science says that the center of the house should be open to sky, in the sense that the rooms will be in the periphery of the plot, and the central part of the house is going to be remaining open right up to the sky. In the olden days, they used to make homes where they used to have trees in the central part, and they used to sit or even sleep under the trees. But as we all know that in these days it is not possible for us to have a house that has the central part open, because we almost buy ready-made houses. The builders and developers build and develop homes such that the open space is not there, the central part is not open. As a result, we all live in homes that do not have this element of space. However, we have designed many homes that do have the central part open. However, we do not allow the rain to come directly inside, so we have some glass panes on the terrace, so that we just have the light and we get the ventilation, but at least the rain will not come inside the home. As we all know, when we say that the central part has to be open to sky, that means there is no weight at all in that part of the house. And the ancient science also says that you should not have any weight there, because that part is supposed to be the part of stomach. We all know is the central part of the human body is stomach, and the central part of your home is also stomach. For example, if I tie a tight belt on your stomach, very tight belt on your stomach, and then I tell you that here is some lovely delicacy of food right in front of you, please go ahead and eat it. You will say, Mr. Gyani, you put such a tight belt on my stomach, I cannot even breathe. How do you expect me to eat this food? It's the same, because if you put a lot of weight on the stomach part of the Vastu man, of the human body that sleeps on your in your house, then his stomach is like full of weight, and therefore all the opportunities that are in the market, in the society, all the tenders that you want to bid, you cannot grab them. You cannot grab these opportunities because there is a lot of weight in the central part of your house. So it's the same, it's symbolic. So what we see and that in US most of the homes have staircases in the central part of the house, which is a lot of weight, or we see the kitchen in the central part of the house, which is not good. We see that there are toilets in the central part of the house. The powder rooms are in the central part of the house. At times we also see that in US there are toilets in the central part of the house. If not on the ground floor, then at least on the first floor you have toilets on the central part of the house. I really don't understand why people give such designs, because a toilet needs drainage lines to go, a toilet needs ventilation, and a toilet needs sunlight. Now when you put a toilet in the central part of the house, I really don't understand how you manage the ventilation and the sunlight part. You may manage the drainages. Now when you put the drainages in the central part of the house, what you're doing is you are putting all the dirt and all the wrong things, all the dirty things into the stomach part of the Vastu man, of the human body that is sleeping on your floor. Now what happens is that you will have illnesses related to spine, you will have illnesses related to stomach. You may have acidities, you may have ulcers, ulceritis, you may have spine problems, you may have anything related to stomach and spine. So my friends, try to keep the central part of the house as open as possible. Even if you cannot keep the roof open, doesn't matter, but make sure that the central part of the house is neat and clean. Maybe there's a family room there, maybe there's a dining space there, maybe there's just an open space there so that you can, from one room to other room to third room to fourth room, you can just walk through in the central part of the house. Let it be clean from any drainage systems, let it be clean from any staircases, let it be clean from any kitchen out there. Please, please, please do not even have your laundry rooms there. You cannot have it. You don't even realize that it will kill almost all your opportunities and it gives you illnesses. So you got to avoid any such thing that is not allowed in the central part of the house. Let me tell you friends, let me be very strict about this, and let me tell you that staircase, toilet, kitchen in the central part of the house is an unpardonable act. Is an unpardonable act of design, is an unpardonable act of construction. There is no pardon for such a mistake. There are certain rules of ancient science of home building, and if you flaw those rules, you are going to be punished, whatever may be the situation. The only thing is that the maturity of your home is after 7 years and after 15 years. You may not realize that, you may not be able to connect it with your house, because you may say that, well, I'm living in this house for last 15 years, today I've got back problem, or today I've got ulceritis, or today I've got acidity. Well, I've been living here for 15 years, how does this connect? How do you say that it is because of the staircase or the bathroom or the kitchen? Well, the maturity of the house is only after 7 years and 15 years. So if anything happens to you after 15 years, you must connect it to the distortion of the home design. You have to do it, because that is the span only when that you get your punishments and then you get your prizes also. So this was what I wanted to tell you about the central part of the house, which is known as space.
Well, Mr. Gyani, thanks for all the information. So, guys, people, as you all know that we were discussing about the characteristics and properties of our house, and over here we have known many characteristics and properties. So now let's move on further. And Mr. Gyani, I would like to ask you now what information and how much you can educate our viewers about these same things now, because now if we talk about one section, suppose Northeast, what will you brief our viewers about it?
Yeah, Pia, what we are going to do now is that we are going to allow people to identify their homes on this blackboard.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be somebody who has got a kitchen in the northeast.
Yeah.
There will be somebody who's got a kitchen in the southeast.
Definitely.
There's somebody who's got a kitchen in southwest, and there's somebody who's got kitchen in northwest and the central part. So what we'll do is we'll take up slowly and gradually. We'll say kitchen in the northeast. Then we'll say toilets in the northeast. Then we'll say staircase and stores in the northeast. We'll say garage in the northeast. We'll say extension of northeast. We'll say dismemberment of northeast. Then we'll go further, and then we go to the southeast corner. We say bedroom in the southeast.
Okay.
We'll say toilets in the southeast. We'll say kitchen in the southeast. We'll say drawing room, family rooms in the southeast. So what we are going to do is we'll take various combinations, right?
Okay.
And one of the combinations will be your house,
Okay.
so that you can identify what I'm saying with what you are experiencing.
Okay.
So it is very important that what I'm saying is your experience.
Okay.
Only then you realize that, okay, this is a science, and what Mr. Gyani is saying here, this is the same that I am experiencing.
Okay.
It must be to an extent that somebody, every viewer of mine should be in a position to say, oh, Mr. Gyani is talking about my house.
Yeah,
He's talking about my life.
Yeah.
He's talking about my health. Right? My finances.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the perfection of this science.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So we are going to tell people, guide people, educate people on n number of problems that people are facing and source of the problem. So
Okay.
once they know, when they attend this, they'll exactly come to know the source of the problem.
Source of the problem.
But all the same, my friends, as soon as I am talking to you about a orientation and then a problem, and if you are facing that problem, you don't have to really worry, because immediately after that I am also going to give you the correction, the measures of correction as to what you can do so that you can get rid of that problem.
Definitely.
Right? And what is important is the correction part. First thing is educate, then relate it with your problem, and then correction. So that you can do it yourself and be a happy family, be a happy person.
Okay.
So
Mr. Gyani, what are we waiting for? Let's go on to the blackboard now.
Yeah. Friends, before we get into the details of kitchen in the northeast, I would like to brief you about one thing. Like we say that the science of home building is based on 5 elements: water, earth, fire, air and space. So when I say water, earth, fire, air and space, I am grossly wrong, because there is a bureaucracy to this. We never say fire, space, water. It's never like that. It is always earth, water, fire, air and space. Earth, water, fire, air and space, because this is the earth. The earth is like a bowl, right? And there is water in this earth, because the water is the sea, the ocean, the river, the pond, everything is in the stomach of the earth, right? And the earth part, the surface of the earth, is supposed to be fire. So this is earth, this is water, this is fire, and whatever evaporation happens here is air, and this is space, right? So it is earth, water, fire, air, space. This is the bureaucracy. You cannot say water, fire, space, air, earth. No, it is never said like that. It has to be this circle. This is earth, this is water. On the surface there is a lot of heat, that is fire, and from the heat whatever evaporation takes place of the moisture is the air, and that air goes into the space, and that is the space. So if I wanted you to get clear on this, that the bureaucracy of these 5 elements is like that. So supposingly you have some tank constructed in some complex, and if you put your transformer there above that, that is okay, because this is earth, this is water tank, and the transformer. So that is okay if you put a transformer on a water body, doesn't matter. But you cannot put a transformer under the water body, because that will be a flaw of the rule of earth, water, fire and space. So there are industries where they need a lot of water storages, so they make a water tank there, and because there is no space and they don't want to spare another space for electric transformers, so they will put the transformer on the top of the tank. But that is okay. But if it is reverse, then that is not okay. So I wanted you to be clear on this. So far so good. Let's go to northeast kitchen. So this is the kitchen. Maybe this is your fireplace, this is your cooking range, and this is your sink, or maybe this is your cooking range and this is your sink. Or in US or UK they have island type of kitchens in the center of the room. So if your kitchen is in the northeast corner, then what is going to happen and why it is going to happen. Now a kitchen is supposed to be handled by ladies, and these ladies are fire energies. All women are fire element. Now a fire element comes into water bodies, because as you know, in the northeast corner the element is water. So there is water there, and the fire element comes into water. As a result, the lady of the house is not going to remain well. However, she is not going to take medicines, but she will be 60% well, 40% unwell. She is going to do all her household, but all the same she is not feeling well. She has got some or the other problem always. It is because the fire element has come into the water element. One daughter in the family, if any house has got kitchen in the northeast corner, then it has been as observed that one daughter in the family, it can be 1 out of 1, it can be 2 out of 1 out of 2, it can be 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. One daughter in the family is going to be very, very unhappy in her in-laws or in her married life. So she is not going to be happily married if she has lived in a house that has got kitchen in the northeast corner. Okay, so there are two issues. I said one, health of the lady. I said two, one daughter not happily married. Then third is there will be always there are going to be quarrels in the house, in the family. That means that this family is not going to be living happily, amicably. There will be issues every day, and people in the family are going to shout, quarrel, fight on issues that are not important. There can be a quarrel on an issue like the neighbors went to see such and such movie. So one says the neighbors went to see Terminator 2, and the other guy says no, the neighbors went to see Die Hard 2, and they will quarrel. Oh man, how does it matter to us? It really doesn't. We don't care whether they went to see Terminator 2 or they went to see Die Hard 2. It really is not any of it. Why are we quarreling? But still we will be quarreling because the kitchen is in the northeast corner. Kitchen, why does this give it give quarrel? Is because there is a lot of fire in water element. Whenever there will be lot of fire in water element, there is a clash of opposite energies. Water and fire are enemy energies. Water and fire are opposite energies. They are not friendly energies. So the water, in the water element, the fire has gone in, and therefore all these people are quarreling for nothing, absolutely nothing. So kitchen in the northeast. There's one more thing too, so I'll write quarrel here. Okay. One more thing is, all of a sudden there will be a big expense in the family. You had saved some money, say $2,000, $5,000, and you were thinking of investing this money into something. But all of a sudden there would be an expense, and you have to shell out that money, and you have to restart your savings again. So there will be a dissatisfaction about savings. There will be a dissatisfaction about investments. You will always say, oh, I work very hard, we work very hard, we try to save some money, but every time we just think of investing that money somewhere, and there's an expense in the family, and we have to shell out that money.
आओ जाने समझे ज्ञान वास्तु शास्त्र